Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined by Jack Weinberger and Robert Ziggy Ziegler with a live reaction to championship weekend. Ziggy, you're looking pretty upset over there in Virginia. You okay? It's just you're not a fan of one of these teams.
There were two outcomes. I've wanted 4 football outcomes in the past 3 weeks, and I've gotten 0 of them.
Yeah, it's been a pretty horrendous. It's been a pretty horrendous football playoffs for us.
I'm pretty happy, guy. I cashed my Eagles Chiefs parlay. Felt like that was the lock of the year. And now rolling to the Super Bowl.
What's the little mug that we have right here that we almost
always win?
Almost win. It's a Vikings mug. I think that fits Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills pretty well at this point in time. And I have to say, I know that I came in this previous week and I was saying how I was rooting for the Chiefs and saying that since the Vikings never win, I root against the teams that have never won a Super Bowl before. I think I'm all talk. Because during the game, I'm sitting here, I was rooting for the Bills. I wanted Buffalo to win this game. And they showed Josh Allen sad on the sideline. And Jack and I just started laughing. Like, they just can't beat them. They just can't beat them when it matters. And it's time and time again, you see this now. If you're a Bills fan, you just got to be sick to your stomach. You said it, Ziggy. No excuses on that last drive. You had the ball in your hands, chance to win the game.
I mean, it's just deja vu.
It's the same
I mean, every year at around the same time of year, we see this game. It's most of the time played in Kansas City, and the Bills have their chances. And just when you think they might actually win this game, like today, up 22-21, and getting the ball back, right? I believe they got the ball back.
Yeah.
Got the ball down to about midfield.
They get stopped on the 4th and 1.
And got stopped on a 4th and 1. But right when you think they could win this game, something happens. And it's just the same thing every year.
I feel
Jack, what happened to your boy Dalton Kincaid?
I was
Jack
disappointed.
was shocked when he saw that was Kincaid.
I was
Shocked.
disappointed when I saw it was Kincaid who dropped that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, wow. Back at Utah, he catches that ball and gets up and scores in the end. Scores a touchdown. Yeah.
So Ziggy, from Virginia, what were you thinking there at the end of the game when Josh Allen had the ball in his hands? You had to be thinking, all right, they're going down, at least tying it up here with a field goal, right?
I have been maybe the biggest Josh Allen supporter this whole season in the entire NFL media sphere. I always believe that he's going to get it done. And this year, I mean, under questionable team circumstances and difficult situations, he got it done almost every time this season. He got it done against the Chiefs the last time they played too. You know, earlier you can say, look, the defense let him down. Josh Allen played great. The defense just wasn't able to get it done. That's been the story so many times. This was the Josh Allen legacy moment to show that he could get it done. And obviously, you can say the offensive line screwed up on a corner blitz. You can say that Josh Allen was in a tough situation. They wasn't getting blocking, and that's true. But when you're Josh Allen, when you're trying to beat Patrick Mahomes, none of that matters. And I didn't think it would matter. And honestly, when he was falling down to the ground and threw that bomb up, I just believed against all hope that it would end up in someone's hand, because that's just the kind of play that Josh Allen usually makes. And it was right there. And it just didn't happen.
I think on that last play, it was a great throw by Josh Allen. It was right in Kincaid's hands. I think if you have Russell Wilson out there, he eludes the pressure. Scrambles, runs for the first down, slides like a yard after the marker, and picks it up. But that's just me.
Dude, you're watching that. You're watching the whole game, and I said to Jack, in the early 4th quarter, I just said this has the makings of Bills heartbreak right here. Like, this is the perfect situation for the Bills to have their hearts ripped out. Yet again, you could see it coming the entire game, and then it really kind of came to fruition there at the end. But this is what the Chiefs do, man. This is what I've been saying all year, all season long. From week 1 when I was picking them, I had them atop the power rankings when they were undefeated and not looking well. The only thing I said was that they're in the business of winning Super Bowls. And when the game matters, that's when they step up. And I thought tonight the best example of the Chiefs stepping up was their defense in those short yardage situations.
They're going
stopping the 2-point conversion.
We'll
get to that in a little bit here. Stopping the 2-point conversion, stopping them on 4th and 1 there. The Bills had been unstoppable on those sneaks. They were like the Eagles almost on one yardage situations until today, until the Chiefs found a way to do it. And that's just the business the Chiefs are in. They're in the business of winning Super Bowls. The Bills are in the business of winning playoff games.
I mean, look, we're sitting back here and we're feeling bad for a guy like Josh Allen, and for good reason. He can't do it. He comes so close every year. And then you realize he's engaged to Haley Steinfeld.
That's a good point.
He's he's a millionaire. He's playing in the NFL, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Then you got a guy like me who's pretty much his age, waking up to go to work tomorrow morning, single, lives with his parents. And I don't really feel as bad for Josh Allen anymore. You know, what I would do to lose in the AFC Chip every year and be married to Haley Steinfeld? Sign me up for that. Right?
Well, this is one thing I'm thinking about is we've had people in the chat here saying never compare Josh Allen to Mahomes again. Mahomes is so much better. Josh Allen choked. This was not Josh Allen having a bad game. I felt like he played well enough to make it happen. It wasn't, no matter what people on the internet are going to tell you, this wasn't the officiating. I know there were two close plays. There was a spot where it felt like it could have gone the Bills' way and maybe it should have. Refs disagreed and it went the Chiefs' way. But if you're saying like this was scripted or rigged or whatever, this was just a good game of football, and the Chiefs happened to win it. It was close.
Yeah, that's how all these games go. Unfortunately for Buffalo Bills fans, and it was fun throughout. Like the entire time we're watching, I'm saying to Jack, I'm like, this is Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. When we talk about how we could wish we could see those games again in 10 years, in 15 years, we're gonna be saying, man, remember those Bills Chiefs games? Remember Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes? I want to see that again. And we had yet another classic here. It's too bad Dalton Kincaid didn't catch that, because I really wanted to see a situation where we had either a tie game or a Patrick Mahomes chance to win the game at the end there. And unfortunately for Buffalo, just couldn't get it done here. It sucks when they've had such a great season. The offense has been so unstoppable. And yet again, we see Taylor Swift on the field celebrating with Travis Kelce. They just don't lose. They just don't lose these games.
God, I want to make out with Kelce tonight, too. With Swift tonight also. Yeah. But what really shows me, like, how good a guy like Josh Allen in Buffalo is the end of that half. Like, I was texting, all right, this is going to be 28-10 early in the third, blah, blah, blah. It's 21-10. Momentum's all Kansas City. You're playing on the road. And then I had a feeling Buffalo was going to win this game when they were able to get down the field and score a touchdown in the final minute. Like, most other teams sit and fold there and lose by 30 in Kansas City. Like, that really shows me something there.
Well, I mean, we know the Bills are unbelievable. Like, they do it all the time. I thought the pass to Mac Hollins down the seam.
What, like fourth down, right?
Yeah, fourth. Like, I thought all night it was kind of like that 13-second game. You had the reminiscent moments of it where they were coming up with big fourth down plays, like huge third down calls. It was just, at the end of the day, the Chiefs defense made enough plays, and Spagnuolo had the corner blitz come in that the Bills weren't ready for. Now, look, Kincaid still should have caught it, but
it's like Groundhog Day.
It is. It's ridiculous.
Look, you see Andy Reid with the AFC Championship trophy, the confetti coming down. I feel like it's just...
Think about the winning that they've had. Like, for whoever's listening right now, you think about your team. A lot of Packers fans in here, I'm sure. We're Vikings fans. You're a Steeler fan. You've won a lot in your lifetime. This is 7 straight years of AFC Championship. Was this now the 4th time they've won it?
2018 they've been this game, yeah.
Right, the 4th time they've won the AFC Championship. It's unbelievable. You have to, even if you're annoyed by it, I think you have to tip your cap and say, like, this is just unbelievable.
Even the Patriots couldn't do this.
Well, they got to 8. They got to 8, Ziggy. New England. The Chiefs
but the way the Chiefs are moving on, and they're probably winning the Super Bowl this year, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I disagree. New England was on, but this is like Tom Brady and the Patriots. What a brutal stretch for the AFC to go from Brady in 8 straight AFC Championship games. You overlap the final year with Mahomes, and he just takes the baton and is in 7 straight now.
I mean, I was saying before too that I've had the great pleasure of seeing 2 AFC championships in Pittsburgh, like being in the building, watching us punch our ticket to the Super Bowl. And I guess I'm a bit spoiled, but 2 of the best games of my life. But now, as long as, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are playing for their current teams, we're not getting back to that game.
Do you think that...
I just don't see us getting back to that game in years.
Oh, yeah. No, in the AFC, it has to be a feeling. If you're not a fan of the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, or the Bengals, right, with one of those quarterbacks,
yeah,
you have to be thinking in the back of your mind, like, God, when are we going to get there?
I mean, I don't know if we'll have a home playoff game in the next however many years. As
Think
long
about
as Lamar's...
Texans. If you're a Texans fan, you have C.J. Stroud, one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, and you're looking at the rest of the AFC landscape going, how the hell did we get through this? You have C.J. Stroud's in the NFC. You're thinking, all right, we could run this conference. The AFC's its own beast right here. But do you guys think so? I see a lot of people in the comments section saying right here that's going to be the lowest rated Super Bowl ever. No one cares about the Super Bowl. I disagree. I mean, I'm still excited to watch the game.
The Bills Commanders have been lower. Chiefs Eagles is an awesome Super Bowl.
It's a great game. And you get the rematch narrative and all. Like, I understand people were not rooting for these two teams. I said at the beginning of the playoffs, anyone but the Eagles. And that included the Packers in the field. That included the Lions. That included division rivals. But Ziggy, you're still intrigued, right? Chiefs Eagles?
Yeah, but it's if you look at the ratings, when the Chiefs have made it to the Super Bowl in the past few years, the ratings have struggled.
The fatigue.
People are excited to see somebody else.
And I mean, that's what I was feeling during the game here when, even though I've been saying I'm rooting for the Chiefs all week, I'm watching Josh Allen going, man, these Buffalo fans have had it tough. And I know I've had it tough as a Viking fan, but unfortunately, Buffalo's not able to get done. And they had the chance. They had the opportunity. That's the thing. We can't look back on this. I don't care what anyone's saying in the comments. This was not on the refs. The refs did nothing wrong in this game.
Well, they did a couple questionable things, but when you're Josh Allen and you have the ball in your hands, 2 minutes to go, and it's touchdown to win the game, you've got to do it.
Sorry, the refs did nothing in this game that made me think they blew it for Buffalo. And they've done.
Yeah,
and there's been a
everybody's
lot of
going to
Chiefs
say
games
you
this
missed a face mask on Josh Allen. Well, you missed a face mask for the Chiefs on the drive where they scored a field goal. If that face mask is called, you get a first down and probably a touchdown. It's just they can go either way.
Yeah, there's been a lot of situations this season where the Chiefs have had calls go their way, where I felt that it very, very much affected the game. That was not the case tonight here.
Can we get a shout out for the Kendrick Lamar show at the Super Bowl? You got to watch at least for that.
Yeah, we got a funny comment here. They're having some sort of a game during a Kendrick Lamar concert.
That's a good point there. That's a good point. All right, let's move on real quick to this Eagles-Commanders game.
Where's your Eagle?
There's that went down earlier in the afternoon, and the Eagles just the second half was ridiculous. 55-23 final score. They outscore Washington 28-8 in the second half. And I thought right before halftime it was getting chippy. Washington drove down the field, hit the field goal. It looked like we were in a situation where we were set up for a great second half of football. And Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts, just not so fast guys, we're running back to the Super Bowl here. First, let's start with the Commanders, then we'll get into the Super Bowl representatives.
The Commanders. They had a good year.
Dude, I'm watching that game, and obviously it was the turnovers that screwed them. But I'm watching Jayden Daniels, and he played well enough to win. You didn't get the elite superstar Jayden Daniels, but you got a Jayden Daniels that was good enough to win that game today. The issues were with the rest of the Commanders. I looked at that game, and I thought going into next season, Jayden Daniels is the top dog quarterback in the NFC right now. That's at least the positive takeaway you can have if you're a Commanders fan. Is I believe you have the guy in the NFC. The same way that we're talking, like Mahomes runs the AFC, I think Jayden Daniels hang into next season. Not the same way Mahomes has, obviously, but Jayden Daniels is my number one NFC quarterback going into next season, and they'll be back because you have a guy like that. And I thought he was good enough to win today.
I think it might have just been over exceeding expectations, having a good year and getting knocked out.
You think so?
Yeah.
And that's a fair side to take on this. Ziggy, where do you come down? Who do you come down closer to?
I mean, it's so hard even to make it back to this game. Right, making it to the championship game, Paul. You know this better than anybody. That's something like when that happens, that can be the special run from that team's era. It's going to be tough to get back, even if they're better next year.
Yeah, we've said it 10,000 times now on this show. Joe Burrow and the Bengals got to the Super Bowl. Everyone thinks that they're going to be there quite soon after they lost to the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, I thought
it's hard.
I lost my train of thought. The freaking Lions were getting back. I thought that was a sure thing.
The Lions had a season where they dominated everybody. Goff had a bad day. They had a couple turnovers, and you're out.
That's it.
And you don't know. If you don't know next season, I'm sure the Packers are going to be better next year. And the Bears will be better next year, probably.
The Commanders had a great season. They slayed the number one seed on the road, the team that dominated everyone. And then they give up 7 rushing touchdowns.
This is great. I'm already getting texts from people that are just like, ugh, is there a way that neither team can win? I mean, I'm rooting for the Chiefs. Go continue, Jack.
The Commanders. I lost my train of thought.
Again?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm hungover and tired.
No,
I mean, you talk about hangovers. All we can hope for is the Chiefs have a Super Bowl hangover next year, which they don't. They're immune to it.
I got it back.
People are go ahead.
I got it back. I was saying how, like this year, the Commanders' number 2 pick in the draft, right? You take Jayden Daniels. no one really expects anything. Like, they have nothing really to lose, and they catch the league by storm. Whereas next year, I think it'll be harder because now teams will be aware. Like, they have that little bit of the target on their back. They know who Jayden Daniels is. I don't think I see Washington repeating what they did this year.
Yeah,
you got the best quarterback in your conference, and I think the Commanders do. You can do whatever, because Jayden Daniels, I think he was let down by the team much more today than anything else. Jayden Daniels, I think, is going to be the best quarterback in the NFC next year, and when that's your spot, the Chiefs have shown it. You can do anything if you've got the best quarterback in the conference.
You know, you just see the importance, and this is an obvious statement, but it's something I'm just going to say. You kind of need that one seed or the home field advantage in these championship games. That's what I've been saying the whole time as a Viking fan. Like, we've had so many games now. We've lost 6 straight NFC Championship games, but the last 5 of them have been on the road. Like, we go into Philly, we get crushed in Philly. I know we had the Atlanta game at home. We go into New Orleans, have a heartbreaking loss in New Orleans on the road, get crushed by the Giants 41-0 in New York. When you have that game at home, and that's something that Washington, is going to have to do next year, win the division. And it's going to be a really good division with Dak back and the Eagles maybe as the defending Super Bowl champions. But
Giants too with Cam Ward.
Yeah, the Giants too with Cam Ward. You never know. So Washington, the crushing thing, though, for Commanders fans, and I've shouted out our good friends Blake and Tom Berchowski a few times on this show already, but you had the opportunity today. The 3 turnovers was something you couldn't afford, especially on the road in Philly against a better football team than you are. That was something that the Commanders needed to win. And when you have 3 turnovers, the Eagles score 3 touchdowns off those turnovers. There's just no way. As great as Jayden Daniels was, you can't come back from that.
I mean, I had a massive hangover today. Got out of bed at like 2:55, like right before kickoff. I set my alarm for 3 p.m. and I woke up to go downstairs and watch the game. And I was watching a bit of it. I see Commanders, great drive early, go up 3-0. Saquon runs in a touchdown on the first play.
That was absurd.
Then Commanders fumble. Saquon takes it again. It's 14-3. And then I just fell back. I fell asleep on the couch. I'm like, why are the Commanders in this game? And I woke up and it was like 41-20.
Well, I think you did yourself an injustice, though, because the first half was great.
Yeah, we have different, I guess, opinions because I watched the game. I fell asleep when it was 14-3. Like, why is Washington in this friggin' game?
I mean, I'll say this. Like, Saquon Barkley, I'm going to have to go back and look at it. But Saquon Barkley has to be having, for an individual non-quarterback player, one of the all-time great playoff runs. He didn't do nearly as much today as he could have. And he scored 3 touchdowns. Right? The Eagles started taking it easy with him as they got a bigger lead as the game went on. He has having an incredible postseason. I know today Jalen Hurts did a lot more passing. I was really critical of him. He and A.J. Brown had a great day today. But Saquon Barkley has been the engine for this Eagles offense all postseason. And it's very rare to see a single running back or a single wide receiver be able to put the team on their back like that for multiple playoff games. Saquon's done it. And I'm going to have to go back. I can't think of another time when a single non-quarterback like that has had this kind of impact.
Well, in a playoff run or in general?
Yeah, in a playoff run. Just like multiple playoff games in a row, you single-handedly win your team the game.
You're probably looking at like Terrell Davis back with the Broncos was unbelievable in those 2 playoff runs. But I said when Saquon came out in 2018, I remember I drafted him and Dalvin Cook, I believe it was, on my fantasy teams that year on the turn at the end of the first round. And I've said from the moment he was in the league, he's the most similar player to Adrian Peterson in terms of the ability to just take over a game at the running back position that I've seen. And Derrick Henry's great. Derrick Henry's phenomenal. You know, he's going to flirt with being like a top, 7 rusher in the history of football by the time his career is over. And Saquon just has this home run ability. I think there was a graphic I saw that said Saquon has 7 runs of 60-plus yards this year. And in one season, the second most was Peterson in 2012 at 4 touchdown runs, 60-plus yard touchdown runs. Peterson was tied with a couple people with 4. And this year, it's the Saquon Barkley, this version of him. You just think about Mara in Joe Shane's office with his head in his hands going, we can't let him go to the Eagles, because this was the nightmare situation for the Giants. And look, I know Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce feel inevitable, but right now no one can stop Saquon Barkley, and that's why I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl.
As a Steelers fan, If you were to tell me a couple years back that we were going to draft Kenny Pickett in the first round and he'd be in the Super Bowl not too long afterwards, I'd be like, wow,
let's go.
Hell yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
I think there's sneaky value on him winning the MVP.
Well, you're in on the Eagles, right?
I think the Eagles are going to win.
Yeah, you said before the day started that you can envision the Eagles taking a knee in the Super Bowl already.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to beat the Chiefs. But I think there's sneaky value, too, on Pickett to win the MVP. I mean, Hurts is a bit banged up. If he goes down in, like, the first quarter, Pickett comes in, throws a couple touchdowns, Philly wins. I mean, he's the MVP. Like, what are his odds? Got to be like...
Can you throw in the chat, Ziggy, who people are rooting for in the Super Bowl? Maybe a poll.
Yeah, sure.
Or if they would sprinkle
I'm
Kenny.
sure it's going to be anyone but the Chiefs.
Or if they would take Kenny Pickett MVP.
See, this is the whole thing I was talking about earlier this week. The reason that I don't mind the Chiefs is because now we're in the situation where I hate the Eagles. I can't stand the Eagles. I think all the Packers fans in here, I'm surprised that Packers fans are saying they don't want the Chiefs as well.
People are just here. I made a third option for just like, you're sick of it. Here's what's going to win. I'm sick of it. Like, Packers fans, they're just done. They want to win it.
I get it, but this is what I'm saying as an NFC fan who does not want to see teams like the Packers or the Eagles or the 49ers win the Super Bowl. The Chiefs, to me, they're like the superheroes. They come in and they clean up all the dirty laundry that the Vikings can't handle. So this is another situation where when Super Bowl Sunday, when they kick off, I'm rooting for Patrick Mahomes again. Like the Chiefs are almost like my team because my team's always out by late December, early January.
I mean, I'm a Pennsylvania guy.
That's
So
I just can't do it with the Eagles, man.
So now that Pittsburgh's out, I go to the other team in Pennsylvania. Yeah, you keep it the same state. So that's why I'm pulling for Philly here.
I went back and checked. The record for most rushing yards in a single playoff season was John Riggins for the 1982 Washington team. He had 682 or 610 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Saquon's got 440 right now. I think it's unlikely he gets to 610, though it's sure possible. But he's already got 5 rushing touchdowns. You add in a few more, Saquon could be going on an all-time playoff run.
How many total scrimmage yards does Saquon Barkley have right now?
He has 35 receiving yards.
No. How many total scrimmage yards? Sorry, and on the season does he have? Can we see that?
Let's see. There was 2,005 rushing in the regular season. Thrown another 500 rushing and receiving for this playoffs. Gosh. How many receiving yards did he have this season? He had 225 receiving yards. That's like 20. He's closing in on 2,800.
So with if he has a game,
there's a chance he breaks 3,000 total scrimmage yards for the season.
Yeah, and that would be the first player ever over 3,000 total scrimmage yards, I believe. If he goes for like 250 or something or 240, which is possible for someone like him.
Walter CZ
Saquon's
says,
unbelievable. I'm with the chat here. Root for Saquon. I'm glad he got out of New York and that he's doing something. There's nothing else. If Saquon can get 1,000 yards and it's a tie and they just decide to end the game, that's what would make me happy.
Well, Walter CZ says all I care about now is August 2025.
Yeah, dude, me too. I'm looking forward to Notre Dame at Miami on August 31st. That's the next football thing. I'm watching the Super Bowl and I'll be into it.
I'm looking forward to June.
To
give me my summer break. Enjoy the summer. Don't wish it away.
Ziggy, throw that one up too. Throw up a chat of what are you what's the next football thing you're looking forward to? The draft next season.
I'm done with football for now. Enjoy the summer. Some barbecues.
No, Jack, you got one more show on you.
I know.
You're like Vince Carter. You got one more on you.
Oh, I know.
Why is Vince Carter getting his number retired, by the way? That's the dumbest thing.
He's in New Jersey, and that's legend. You have to retire.
But I'm trying to play some beer die before I watch the Steelers again.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want
a little break.
I don't want to freaking snap my fingers to August. And
no, you need a break in there. There has to be, and that's the fun of it. I mean, I enjoy the draft. I enjoy free agency because that's, again, as a Vikings fan, like that's our time.
You know what I'm looking forward to now?
That's our time of the year.
It's all Pirates baseball for me now. I think pitchers and catchers report soon. Actually, very soon. Opening days in a couple months.
Yeah, because those seasons usually end. Very, very exciting, right? You have like a great April, and I'll get a text from Jack in mid-May. He's like, hey, dude, you got to get on the Pirates plus 5,000 to win the World Series right now.
I'll be on
it.
it.
It won't even be that. It'll be plus 5,000 to win like the NL Central. You got to get on this. And I go, Jack.
I'll be on it.
That Paul Seen Cy Young Award, you could have made a boatload of money on
that. Almost worked.
I know.
Yeah,
even if you just hedge that.
I was close.
Everyone in the chat here is just devastated, it looks like.
Yeah, we've got some people. Super Bowl is 4th to Super Bowl free agency draft and kickoff.
Can you throw in, Ziggy, also the open-ended question for people to drop some questions that they have post-championship weekend? It could be about anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be about these games.
Yeah, we're throwing in a Q&A. We've got 230 in the room right now. So to everybody watching, we appreciate you. If you're enjoying this, feel free to throw us a like, throw us a subscription. It's close to the end of the NFL season, so maybe you can just check in when we start doing our free agency and draft previews. But we'll have a good time.
You know, today I thought that Jalen Hurts had a really good day. And
he has scored 60 points.
I was really critical of him. He was back today.
No, he was back today. And I thought it was unfair for him over the past few weeks that people are talking about Jalen Hurts like he's not one of the better quarterbacks in the National Football League. Look, he didn't have the best season compared to his MVP caliber year 2 years ago. And he was banged up a number of times this year.
And then he had 2 horrible games.
But today, I thought when it mattered most, even the little things, like when he was getting chased around the backfield, he was throwing it away. He wasn't taking disaster sacks. He had no turnovers. That's the kind of game you need in the NFC Championship. You have to avoid those negative plays. And I thought there was a number of times where he extended plays, a lot of times in third down situations, made a big throw. And look, they were able to capitalize on all 3 Washington turnovers into touchdowns. That's how you beat a team by 30 points in the conference championship.
He also got a freaking bye week in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, we all knew the Eagles were going to win.
Playing against are you serious?
Well, Ziggy didn't, but
if the Eagles went to Detroit, maybe Detroit wins.
I do agree. It really did feel like it was Josh Allen's time.
They never had a chance.
Oh, I picked the Chiefs too. I knew the Chiefs were going to win, but this felt like the year where it could happen.
They never had a chance.
Man,
You know what's terrible too is like if you told me the Bills would beat the Chiefs in the regular season, oh my god, like they're a surefire number 1 seed. Like they'll host the AFC Chip at home, and yet somehow, some way, they beat the Chiefs and then go back to the Chiefs in the playoffs.
And the Chiefs rested their starters in the last week of the season.
Yeah,
too. Not only that,
I know the Chiefs locked it up before
we said that the Bills beat the Lions on the road, beat the Chiefs. And then didn't even have the opportunity to play for the 1 seed last week of the season.
Yeah.
It's just that image of Josh Allen on the sidelines it was just the most sad look in the world, like he just lost his puppy or something.
I'm telling you, go back to the Diggs effect. Bills were great again. The Texans were mid. They get rid of Diggs.
The AFC same story for the Bills.
The Texans lost in the divisional round, and the Bills made it to the AFC Championship.
No, Texans were bad though. Their division is so bad. Like, what do they have? 9 wins? 10 wins? You just knew that they weren't doing anything.
How many rings does Mahomes end up winning if he retires at age 42? Was he 28 right now?
19.
I mean, we're going to have to hear, Tom Brady, because he works for Fox now, is going to be like put up in all of the pregame stuff. We're going to have to hear all about this chase for so many years to come.
I think Mahomes is better than Brady.
Yeah, probably. Let's get to a couple of these fan questions here. We only have a couple, so feel free to throw in yours. We don't have a lot coming in, so we'll probably get to it. This one's from Michael Merrill, member, longtime supporter. Does Saquon have to rush for 120 yards for Philly to win?
Is there a statistic around 120, or are we just picking that as an arbitrary number?
I don't think it's arbitrary. I think it's big.
It's big, a big day. Yeah, if Saquon's not awesome, I can't really see a world where the Eagles are beating Kansas.
I disagree. Because here's the thing: is if Saquon is the focal point of the Chiefs' defensive plan, if they commit 100% to shutting him down, Jalen Hurts showed that he can be good enough to win the game for the Eagles. I mean, it's not going to be pretty necessarily, but as long as you've got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and a competent quarterback. I mean, Saquon rushed for 118 yards today. He didn't hit 120 yards today. And the Eagles won 55-23.
I don't think he has to ball out at all for the Eagles.
But if he's not balling out, it needs to be because the Chiefs are overselling to stop him. And that's letting Jalen Hurts run wild.
I think if Saquon does have one of those games where he goes for like 150, I think the Eagles might blow them out.
I don't think they're going to blow them out. What I'm thinking is that I think it'll be a close game. Like, obviously, the Eagles have a chance to win. If Saquon goes for 85 yards, like the Eagles can still have a chance to win this game. But what I'm saying is if you're able to limit Saquon, I just don't know if I believe enough in Hurts to keep up. Like the Chiefs are going to have, probably 30-ish, 28 points maybe. I mean, actually, these are two of the best defenses in the league.
I think Philly might beat them.
This is going to be a
Chiefs
defensive
offense.
stand.
This was their first really good first half of the season, and then they did nothing after that.
I think Philly might beat them pretty good.
I can't see that happening. I think the Chiefs are they're too good on both sides of the ball. They're not going to get blown out.
No, but the Chiefs
if Saquon goes nuts, you're right, though. If Saquon goes nuts, then you open the door because then you have to commit more to Saquon, and that's when Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown can make you pay.
The Chiefs have won one game this year with more than one possession.
Yeah,
so I think Philly's better than the Chiefs.
But that's the thing. The Chiefs aren't. You don't really blow them out. The closest they came to a blowout was the Bills in Buffalo.
I think this could be like when the Bucks beat them in the Super Bowl, like a similar type of occasion.
But the difference is that in that game you had Mike Remmers. I remember Mike Remmers came in. It was just getting blown up on the offensive line, and people were talking about how big of an issue the Chiefs O-line was in that game, and it was an issue. But people never talked about that Mike Remmers was the best offensive lineman the Vikings had the season before. Like how bad the Vikings offensive line was. That the guy in the Super Bowl getting murdered was the Vikings' best offensive lineman from the season before. I was just cracking up laughing at that. But the Chiefs, that's not the deal.
I think Philly's better than the Chiefs are.
They might be more talented.
I'd be surprised if
they don't have Patrick Mahomes.
They don't need Patrick Mahomes.
This isn't a question, but there's a comment from Magic Harp as a troll, longtime supporter. I hate the Chiefs. Go Chargers, go. I agree. That's the one go blank go I can get behind on this show. Go Chargers, go. I'd love to see the Chargers make a Super Bowl.
I don't. I have no desire to see. I don't care.
We got to go fly.
I love Magic Carp. He's been a great listener, but I don't. Yeah.
We got to go Flyers, go. Donating $5.
I've realized I don't really root for anybody else except my team. You know, like I'm watching the game here, and I was like, yeah, it'd be nice if Buffalo won, but I'm not heartbroken from this. It's like I have my heart. I have enough heartbreak with my team. I have plenty of heartbreak with the Vikings. It's not an issue for the Bills losing. I feel bad for the Bills fans, but I'm not going to sit around here and be like, oh, woe is me.
And now too, they got to just like go back to everyday life in Buffalo. Oh, it's got to be so tough.
Well, not the Bills players, but the Bills fans.
No, the fans. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, hopefully it gets warmer. Hopefully.
I think the
outcome one from John Tracy. Does Josh Allen's career mirror Aaron Rodgers' career at this point? Their defense, special teams never show up in the big games.
No, I don't think it does because Josh Allen's been unbelievable in these games. You know what I mean? Like Rodgers had a couple games where he had turnovers, but Josh Allen, you're just going up against arguably the best ever. I mean, I guess you can say it's similar in that they can't get to the Super Bowl again. Like Rodgers won a Super Bowl. You know, we can't forget that. Yeah. Rodgers won the big game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the huge difference is Aaron Rodgers, everything for the rest of his career was in the context of he's done it before. I think that took an enormous amount of pressure off of him. And not just he's done it before, but in 2010 in that Super Bowl run, he was lights out. Like he was that was not him getting carried. He was a major reason of why they won the Super Bowl that year. So I think not having the big game, as unfortunate as it is, Rodgers never had to face someone like Mahomes. Like he was never able to beat someone like Mahomes in the NFC because the NFC just hasn't had that kind of dynasty. But no, I think even though I think Josh Allen's played better in the playoffs, not winning the Super Bowl matters a whole lot.
Look, the other thing that you can think about is it's like, did someone say it here? No, someone said LeBron, but it's like the 90s with basketball. You know, you had a lot of great all-time great players in the 1990s, and you just couldn't beat Michael Jordan. And
think about how many legacies Patrick Mahomes has ruined.
No, it's true. Well, think of the way people view like Patrick Ewing and then those Knicks teams. Reggie Miller's teams couldn't get by Jordan. Like, no one could get past Michael Jordan. And I'm talking Eastern Conference mostly here, but that's what it is. When we look back on the legacy of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, you know, we'll see how many MVPs those guys end up with. But right now, their legacy is that they were great quarterbacks who couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes. And it's nuts because you watch these games and they come down to the final minute every single time. The Ravens game last year, you had the Zay Flowers fumble, I believe. Yeah. Like, they just can't beat him.
To some extent, almost winning more MVPs hurts Lamar's legacy.
And at this point, too, like, Josh Allen has had his chances. Like, this is 4 times now to advance in the playoffs.
4 times.
This was the one where I look at it and say Josh Allen had the opportunity to get it done. It didn't work.
Well, where Josh Allen let him down. I don't even know if you could say Josh Allen let him down. Dalton Kincaid dropped the ball.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but he dropped the ball because they got to 4th and 5. I'm just saying, like the 13 seconds game.
Well,
You
that's the
cannot.
one.
People
That's the
point
one.
that and say Josh Allen didn't get it done. Josh Allen did nothing.
Well, anyone who
wrong
says
that
that's
game.
an idiot.
I was
don't know
shocked.
anyone who's
I was shocked at last year when Casey got him in Buffalo.
Yeah, it was what 27, 24.
Yeah.
But that was a good game from Allen. It hasn't been quite enough.
Yeah,
I thought
don't
last
know,
year was Buffalo was going to do it.
I don't know why people are saying Josh can't get it done when the bright lights are on. He's had some great playoff performances that
He steps up in the playoffs. He's better in the playoffs than he is in the regular season, and he's great in the regular season.
maybe not this year. I mean, this year was ridiculous, but it's
He certainly played well enough, I think, to win this game if things had gone a little bit differently. We've got a few more questions.
I got to take a massive crap.
Do it right there.
I might go in my pants. I apologize to Paul.
We got a couple more from Michael Merrill here. One, does Andy Reid need the three-peat more to compare his legacy as a coach to Belichick?
at some point, if he keeps winning these, like when do you start to have that conversation, right?
I mean, I'm not sure he needs a three-peat. I think he needs to win a few more. But look, Andy Reid is the winningest coach for two franchises.
Belichick
two good
sucks.
franchises in the Eagles and the Chiefs. Like I don't think he has anything more to prove.
Belichick was exposed when Tom Brady left the team. What? You give that reaction, but it's true. Belichick's not good.
Belichick had like 2 years of Mac Jones.
Yeah, he went to the
the end of his
playoffs.
career.
Yeah, and
he went to the playoffs
sucked.
with one of them. They went to the playoffs.
Well, okay,
with
that's
one.
saying they're the seventh best team and got killed. Whatever. He was exposed.
I mean, Belichick's a defensive coach who had the defense that year was unbelievable.
He had Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's why
And
he
then-
won Super Bowls.
Then Brady took that stupid bum Bowls to a Super Bowl. Like,
Well,
come
no
on.
one's
That
arguing.
Bucs team was great.
No
They were
one's
just missing a
arguing.
quarterback.
No one's arguing
They
that
didn't-
quarterback is less important than a great head coach. You'd rather have a great quarterback than a great coach if you had to choose. But the great coach, I don't know if you have.
You're telling me you could have stood on the Pats sideline and coached the
No, we
coach the
wouldn't win this.
Patriots?
No,
I could have.
no. If you
No, they
have
could not.
All right, Brady, go find Gronk over the middle.
If you have Tom Brady, you can win some Super Bowls. If you have a Bill Belichick guy, I think you're good enough to win some Super Bowls. To have both of them is what gives you the dynasty. to
Just
me.
Belichick, no way.
One of the reasons why the Chiefs continually beat the Bills in the playoffs is the Chiefs have the better coaching. They call the better plays. They've got the better situational football. They're better practice. They're better prepared.
I think that's true.
Like it's not just the players.
I mean, like, what do you think? You think these like the Trent Dilfer Ravens and the Joe Flacco Ravens, like those teams didn't have great quarterbacks. They had all-time defenses, but
yeah,
they
they had killer defenses who didn't allow teams to score.
like Joe Burrow this year doesn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a bad defense.
I mean, it's more.
Like-
it's more than a great. Like I know, and Belichick always put a great defense on the field every single season.
Okay, guys, he's probably good players. Coaching means nothing.
All right.
You don't get lucky and have good. If you are in charge of the players and you have 20 years of good players, I don't think that's luck.
If you have
But-
if you have Mac Jones as your QB for 20 years, Belichick wins nothing.
Well, if you have Mac Jones for your
That's-
quarterback for 20 years, Mac Jones must be pretty good. 20 years of Mac.
Yeah.
What's the
This
next
is one
question,
from Michael
Ziggy?
Merrill.
You know what
one
I'm saying.
more. In reference to playoffs, Green Bay versus San Francisco and Bills versus Chiefs, what's the next best playoff rivalry?
The next best playoff. Well, what of late? Like, are we talking Colts
We'll
Patriots?
say last 10 years, we'll say.
Steelers Ravens.
Playoffs.
Yeah, we're
playoff
focusing in
rivalry?
on the playoffs here.
Who's had some big playoff matchups?
Ravens Titans looked like it was going to become a
Stop
thing,
it.
and then
Stop
it
it.
just didn't.
Stop it. Ravens.
What?
Let's get out of here.
There was a 2-year stretch when the Titans beat the 1-seed Ravens.
Chiefs
You can't tell me
Bengals.
that wasn't
And
Chiefs
it's probably-
Bengals has to be on there.
It's Chiefs Bills.
Oh no, you said outside of Chiefs Bills and outside of 49ers Packers. Chiefs.
Sorry,
and-
it's late.
Chiefs and Bengals has to be in there. Those games were unbelievable. Then I think you can look at who else was. I mean, San Fran and Seattle was great, but that might be out of your time limit here, Ziggy. Are there any other big?
I mean,
playoff?
those really are the two ones that have sort of dominated the conferences.
Cowboys and Packers had a couple really good games.
Eagles versus anybody?
Mm.
No.
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
mostly,
at this point, if it keeps going like this, maybe Eagles, Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
yeah. Actually, that's
Yeah.
not even a bad answer for right now. After they play,
Oh yeah, this is the second time in what, 3 years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite possible if both Mahomes and Hurts will meet again in the Super Bowl, make it 3
49ers
times.
and Chiefs as well. I mean, it's these teams.
It's because the Chiefs just win so many playoff games. They're everybody's enemy.
It's too bad you didn't have a little bit more of Brady Mahomes overlap. That would have been sick.
Yeah.
If you had a little bit more of that overlap.
Brady got lucky that he faced Mahomes just a couple times.
He beat him twice. He's the only guy to really.
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm not sure that would have continued every time.
Pretty amazing for as great as Patrick Mahomes is. You look back on it and it's like, well, he couldn't beat Brady when it mattered. All right, go ahead, Ziggy. Was there another question?
We've gotten to basically all the questions.
It sounded like there was another one.
It is 10:40 p.m.
It's last call, folks. Jack's about to check out. It's 10:36. We will be on until 10:40, then we'll call us. So, folks, it's the last call for questions. We got 250 you in the room right now. Once again, thanks for showing up.
Let's see here. Yeah, Bengals, Ravens. There's been some good ones. I think Cowboys, Packers, Seahawks, Packers was good. Like a lot of Green Bay or
Seahawks, Packers is decent. Yeah, they've had some good ones.
I'm trying to remember how many times they met in the playoffs other than the NFC Championship game.
They met twice.
Is there another one? I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Well, anyway, when you look back on it today, unfortunately, the Eagles game wound up not being so great. Again, we didn't really expect that, but Chiefs Bills lived up to the hype, and you just have to go back again. If you're a Bills fan, you're just going back to the drawing board here, saying, "What do we do?"
By the way, if you're here and you haven't, submit a question to our mailbag. We got a big mailbag coming up next week.
So
wait, who's Walter? Is Walter CZ? Are you a female? I feel all warm and fuzzy inside. If you're a female, hit me up. Personal Instagram. I love to chat.
Jack, what's wrong with you?
Ziggy, what do you think? So let's actually talk real quick. Jack, I'm sorry. You have the Eagles winning the Super Bowls. What do you think right now, Ziggy?
I give up. The Chiefs, I say it's going to happen every year, and I don't want to believe it. They spend the regular season figuring things out. This time it bled into the playoffs of not playing great. And then they just, when they need to, it's just perfect. Everybody executes perfectly. The running backs, they can pick up whoever they want off the street. Doesn't matter who we beat up. They'll go for like 200 yards. Doesn't matter what receivers you have, what crimes they've been convicted of. They'll go for 200 yards. Travis Kelce can be 55 years old and fall flat on his face every other play in the regular season. Date a pop star. Be completely distracted. When the playoffs show up, he'll be good. Patrick Mahomes, he can look the worst he's ever looked. It's time. The defense can look vulnerable. They show up. But just this Chiefs team is always there, and I don't know how they do it. I think you might have converted me. I'm picking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're obviously going to win the Super Bowl.
1.5 point favorites. No. Why did I ever pick against this team?
Walter says, I'm a guy, dude, and I'm 61 years old and married to a woman.
How did you read the name Walter CZ and think now's my time to go
in?
Their name is Proud Dad Vet.
It might even be
Walter.
Walter.
Now's my time to go in. Like that's offensive, Jack.
Walter,
this man's a veteran.
You seem like a cool dude. I wish I could meet you one day. Yeah. But the Eagles are winning the Super Bowl. I'm saying 31-17 Philly. Like I think Philly gets them pretty good. I'm serious. I think they're a decent amount better.
No, enough.
They are. But they are.
The Chiefs are one of the most well-coached teams in the league.
The Chiefs.
They have a great offense with the best quarterback in the world.
On defense.
No, the Chiefs. Here's the thing. The Chiefs are not.
What are you talking about?
If you want to beat the Chiefs, you have to be able to get pressure on Mahomes rushing for. Like that's it. That's not negotiable. And the Eagles are one of the only teams in the NFL that could actually do that. I'm not saying they will. I'm picking the Chiefs to win, but there's reasons to think this Eagles team can win.
They've got
what you need.
I think it's
what you need to beat the Chiefs is an incredible run game and a defense that can pressure Mahomes without blitzing. They have that.
When I look at the game,
Philly's a better team.
Oh, I think the Eagles are a more talented team.
I don't know why they're a dog.
I think the Eagles have more talent. You could argue the Eagles might have the most talented roster in the league, including Detroit. They might have a more talented team than the Lions. I mean that's very. I would pick those two as the best teams on paper. But when you look at the Chiefs, again, the Patrick Mahomes difference has to be acknowledged. It has to.
No, it doesn't.
He's won 3 They're the back-to-back champions with the best quarterback of all time.
Yeah, but
the best quarterback in the world right now.
The last year's bowl, they were better than that.
And I think they have a significant coaching advantage in the game, too.
That doesn't matter.
It does. It
no,
really will.
We've got 2 more questions here, and then we're going to wrap it. One's from Carson Quinnell. If you put Mahomes, this is related to something we were talking about earlier. If you put Mahomes on the Giants, same roster, same coaches, is he as good as he is? No.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's amazing.
And Andy Reid
Is he
sucks.
as good as he is?
He's probably not as. I think the Giants are. I think the Giants are messing around with the Super Bowl run,
Dude,
with Patrick Mahomes.
if you put the Giants' current roster in Kansas City, Andy Reid's living on the street right now. Coaching doesn't matter.
No, coaching matters.
No, it doesn't.
Malik, I think Dable would.
Imagine
fine with
It
Andy
doesn't
Reid
matter
coaching
if you
the.
think coaching matters or players matter. The Giants have neither.
the.
But imagine Reid coaching the Giants. What's the record? 4-13, maybe instead of 2-15.
How great do you think the Buffalo Bills offense is, Ziggy? Without Josh Allen, that's what I'm
It's
asking.
bad.
I don't think the Giants have a particularly great offense. And if you insert Patrick Mahomes in there, Malik Neighbors is better than any receiver on the Buffalo Bills. I know that they have James Cook, but I would be shocked, floored if the Giants were not.
Wait, the Giants with Mahomes, they win the Super Bowl.
I don't know if they win the Super Bowl, but
They
I
do.
like they are a playoff threat. If you put Patrick Mahomes on any team in the league, this is where you're right, Jack. That quarterback is that important. It's the most important position in all of sports.
It's the only position that matters.
And
Actually, that's so. I guess I should.
The
pick
Eagles
Chiefs.
today showed that's not quite true.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sticking to my Eagles back.
What's the
All
other
right.
question, Ziggy?
We got one more question. This is from John Tracy. This gets back to the game, and then we'll wrap. Should Buffalo fire Sean McDermott?
It's hard to fire a guy when you're just losing to the best duo, one of the best duos in the history of football. It's hard to just can him. Like, they had a great year again. But I also see the other side of this where you're like, all right, we need to find a way to get over the hump. And maybe Sean McDermott's not the guy to do it. I have a hard time letting him go, though. I wouldn't fire him.
Who do you
No.
think Jason Kelce's rooting for?
The Chiefs.
You think so?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. His brother.
I think he's rooting for the Chiefs, but he's going to be neutral publicly.
Yeah, like look. At the end of the day,
He knows who butters his bread.
at the end of the day, when he's, yes, that's not horrible. But at the end of the day, your brother's playing the Super Bowl. You root for your brother.
yeah.
You're in the box with your family, rooting for. You're not rooting
You're not
for the
rooting for
Eagles.
the
They're your
Eagles, yeah.
friends. I think that, like, again, he's friends with all these guys, so I think that he's coming out here and he's like, hey, like, hopefully everyone has a great game, no one gets hurt. But I think he's rooting for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think you got to. But it's like if like your best friends, like if Jeffrey was playing against me, Mike, Jack, Zach, Brendan, like all these guys, Ziggy.
I appreciate that you don't name me because it's implausible I could ever play.
Well, I threw you in at the end there. I threw you in at the end.
I know
Ziggy.
it's a no-brainer. I'd root for Jeff.
Yeah.
Well, you'd be in the box with Jeff, but I could.
So-
The more I think about it, the more I can see a world where, like, yeah, I'm rooting for my brother, but like, I don't know, like, your best friends are on the other team too.
Look, I hope he lights you up. Like, I'm happy to see you in the Super Bowl, but I hope you get lit up by him. So Kelsey's definitely rooting for his brother.
I think so. Yeah.
Like, it's like you and Matt. You got to root for Matt to beat me and Mike and.
Well, we're putting this to a poll, and then
Well,
we're going to wrap
I'd
it. Who are you
root for-
rooting
I'd root-
for?
yeah,
One
I'd root for
sibling or
Matt.
10 best friends?
This is a great poll.
This poll is going to wrap it up.
I gotta go to
want to
sleep.
know.
I think-
I want to know what the fans think.
Oh, I
It's,
meant to vote.
If you have a close relationship with a family member, you got to go with the family member.
We'll assume, like, for this,
10
we're
best
assuming
friends,
that you
Jack?
like this sibling,
10
that you
best-
get along well. You really
Yeah,
care
like you
about
love your
this
sibling, but you also love your best friends here.
I'm
rooting.
I'm not saying I don't love my best friends. I just hope you lose for my brother.
I'm rooting. Yeah, I'd root for my brother's team to win. But you know what? You're right. I wouldn't publicly be out there being like, I hope they kick your ass. I probably wouldn't even talk about who I'm rooting for.
I'd probably do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd
Go
probably-
Flyers Go predicts that the Eagles win this year and the Vikings win next year. Go Flyers Go. I think you're wrong on both counts, but you're certainly wrong on the second.
yeah, dude.
I mean, I appreciate you. I respect you. I'm very happy that you've got our back. Ain't no way.
Shoeless 113 says 10 best friends. There's more of them.
It's
a good point.
Not bad.
a
Not
good
bad
point.
math right there. Not bad
I guess
math.
we know what you do in the trolley problem. All right. This poll's been going for 2 minutes. We finished up at 70% one sibling, 30% 10 best friends. That's going to wrap up the live.
All right, there you go. So, Chiefs and Eagles in the Super Bowl. Wow, who could have seen this coming? Oh, real quick, $10 from Scotty B. Do you realize how good the Chiefs defense is? Mahomes will not be there on many other teams. Speaking as a Packers fan, where Aaron maybe had one defense in his time. Yeah, the Chiefs defense has been unbelievable the past 2 years in particular. They've been great.
Maybe he's right.
But part of why that defense is unbelievable too is the Chiefs know they can spend pennies on the dollar on offense and just let Patrick Mahomes take care of the rest.
Look, if you again, this is going back to the Patrick Mahomes on the Giants. If you put Patrick, who won the divisions this year? What teams won the divisions? Stafford, best quarterback in division. Jalen Hurts, best quarterback. Close on that one. Goff, best quarterback in the division. Mahomes, best quarterback in the division. Lamar, best in the division. Stroud, best in the division. Baker, best in the division. Who the hell's the other one I'm forgetting? North, South, East. What? I got them all. That's it?
I think so.
You're the best quarterback in the division. You have a very good opportunity to win it. I don't know if the Giants would go 15-2 or whatever to beat the Eagles, but they're going to the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes is not missing the playoffs in the NFC.
Yeah, it's the Chiefs are spending the least in the entire NFL on running backs and wide receivers.
Jeremy says that if you mentioned aunt instead of a sibling, I'd vote for aunt. Your aunt in the Super Bowl?
I'd root for my aunt, too.
She'd have to be unbelievable at football.
Oh, yeah, I'd root for my aunt also.
Yeah. All right. We'll wrap it up there.
We're wrapping this
Chiefs
up.
and Eagles in the Super Bowl. Who could have seen it coming? We'll have more reaction content coming out later this week. And look, this is the time of year now where we start to transition things towards our off-season content. There's one more game. The biggest game is left. So we will have a Super Bowl reaction coming out that night.
The biggest game that everybody in this chat has been saying all night they don't care about
and
are going to watch.
And it's 2025.
You're all liars, by the way.
Everyone's
You're watching this Super Bowl. I don't believe you for a second.
You mentioned transitioning.
If you were watching a post-game reaction to a football game at like 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern, you're watching the Super Bowl.
Everyone's watching.
Stop lying to yourself.
Everyone's watching. But this is the time now where everyone else, so we're like, all right, this is done. We're back to this. We almost always win for the Vikings. Now it's J.J. McCarthy or Sam Darnold. Packers are back in their offseason trying to address some needs to figure out what went wrong. The Bears, Ben Johnson's coming in. Like now everyone turns their attention to why they can win next season. And that's a great time of year. Hopefully we get through the Super Bowl and then it's closer to springtime. Just a little bit closer to warmer weather here. So, all right, we appreciate everybody in here who was chatting with us and interacting with each other. It's been a lot of fun. Again, we just have a great chat every single time we do one of these. Everyone's super nice and super fun.
Every time we're worried we're not going to get people showing up, we're going to get a bad chat, and every time you guys are great.
Yeah, we really appreciate that, and it's a lot of fun for us. So we'll have more content coming out. Everyone get a good night's sleep. Remember, if you're a Bills fan or a Commanders fan, sorry. Everyone else, just keep in the back of your mind, we don't really care. Just remember that. So we'll see you later. Oh wait, I forgot I have to end the stream because we have no producer,
Right.
Zach.
Oh, yeah.
So let me go in the stream.
We don't have 7-Eleven girl to end the stream.
What?
What?
Oh, we got to shut the stream. There's no producer,
You got
Zach.
Stone Cold Steve Austin in here. What? What? What?
Okay.
What?
Okay.
What?
Okay. Okay,
All right,
Keanu.
surely we're done now.
There we go. Good job, guys.
Good stuff.
Yeah, thanks for showing up, Jack.